Hello and welcome, and today we hear the freshest stories from an up-and-coming team in the PVL. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Dip Dipianco. It's all about the Farm Fresh Foxies on the show. So let's not wait any further. This is Starting Lineup.
JD! Puts it on top and hits a nice spectacular three.
Gold medalist, Olympic champion, from Europe.
Fresh off their playoff clinching win, we have the Foxies to talk about their run here in the PVL on tour. Let's welcome Farm Fresh, Jolina De La Cruz. Welcome back to the show for most of them. Aloy Robbins-Hardy, Caitlin Viray, Captain Louis Romero, and Coach Alessandro Lodi with us tonight.
Yeah.
The Foxies. Before you sing your first song, Coach, as I know you're ready to go. No, Coach, you know, we're not going to ask you all of the other stuff already that has been asked. They can read about it, they can research about it. My question is, when you come into a new situation, whether it's a new country, new team, new players, what is the first order of business for you? What is in your list of trying to, when you're getting into a new situation?
Most definitely establishing a culture of excellence.
Right away, that's your first.
Yeah, that's
okay.
the number one thing.
Okay.
Because what we need to understand is that there can be different cultures, different backgrounds, different environments, but ultimately you need to play volleyball. So the court decides, and the rules that apply on the court are pretty similar, whether you are in Japan or United States or Europe. So you need to understand the environment, but that takes some time.
Of course.
You cannot get somewhere and be an expert right away. And you do your research and you try to know more. But ultimately, what you really need to do is to find the things. Well, first of all, you need to know the things and then establish the things that will help you be successful. And these are pretty general and global principles that don't have much to do with whether you are Asian or European or what your exact background is. And so these rules and principles you really need to focus on and to teach people and to be really demanding and strict about those as well. Otherwise, what can happen is that the local situations and conditions or the local culture, they can become an excuse. And this applies everywhere. People will say the exact same things everywhere. They will say, you know, here...
That's not how we do it here.
Here, you can't do this.
Right.
Or here we're used to doing that. Or you know the Philippines or Germany or wherever you are. You know, and that's used as a shield,
Right.
like as an excuse. This is a major obstacle towards improvement. Since you ultimately need to improve, you need to do things better, either because you are not at the top, and that's pretty obvious. If you're not at the top, you need to try to get there. If you are at the top, as a great coach says, once you reach the top of the mountain, you become the mountain, and everyone is trying to climb you. So in any case, you cannot be static and just allow yourself to be complacent. You need to get better. In our case, it's pretty obvious because you know, a team that was like ranked 10th, it's pretty clear that they have to make a massive quality leap. But even if you are top, you can't say, well, we've been top, therefore we're just going to keep doing the same things. Well, that is the best recipe to get
Disaster.
to get to lose, you know.
Right.
So in any case, you gotta improve. And in order to improve, you need to, and it goes back to what I said before, it goes back to those keys and principles and values that are very international. Okay, they're not related to your
Culture,
to your
country.
culture. So
Yeah.
you need to warn not to use culture as an excuse. And in any culture, there are some strengths and some weaknesses, and you need to identify those weaknesses and not let them influence you and not let them become who you are, but you're going to decide who you want to be.
Okay.
So this is the basic idea. You need to establish the standards, establish the principles,
Then work from there.
and demand nothing short
Okay.
of people's best every day.
Yeah. Now, Alohi, you got here a year earlier than Coach Lodi, but you guys sort of suited up at the same time this on tour in the PVL. What is that culture that you have noticed or experienced off the bat when Coach Lodi entered the Farm Fresh Foxies?
For me, for sure, just being, experienced as far as being elsewhere, not just here in the Philippines, playing in Europe. And, he's from Europe. He's coached everywhere that you could probably think of. I think just that culture, European culture, but also American culture and American volleyball in a sense. So I think a lot of his concepts I've already learned either in college or from other coaches as well. But there's a lot of new things that I'm learning from him as well. So it's been a great experience for sure.
Julina, tell me about the first experience, first meeting with Coach Lodi here. Tell me about those stories, because obviously we all know already, we've seen a glimpse of his personality, the timeouts, all of these things, and I'm sure it's konti pa lang itong nakikita namin from what you... But the first meeting, tell us some Coach Lodi stories. Ikaw muna, Julina.
Sakto kasi BFF, di ba?
Oh, kunwari wala siya. Pretend he's not here.
Yeah. At first talaga, si Coach, sobrang precise niya talaga sa lahat. And pagdating pa lang niya, talagang may meeting na kami. So every day we love meeting Coach, right?
He's not listening to you right now.
So, ayun nga, parang sobrang organized din kasi talaga ni Coach na sometimes yun, nakakabigla rin kasi sabihin natin, hindi kami ganon ka-organize eh. So, natuto rin kami sa kanya talaga. And pagdating sa training, talagang gusto niya rin, nakafocus kami sa lahat ng sinasabi niya, nakafocus kami sa ensayo, bawal. Okay sa kanya yung magkakamali, pero yung mga mistake na parang hindi ka nakikinig, yun yung pinakaayaw ni Coach. So, na-adapt na namin yung system niya ngayon. And meron nga time sa game na ang daming nagtaka nun. Yung sumigaw si Coach sa game sa akin. Pero for me, okay lang yun. Like, hindi naman kasi kami ganun kanipes na parang magta-tantrums kami after niya sumigaw sa amin. So sa akin talaga, sobrang okay lang yun. And after nga, nag-heart pa ako sa kanya. Ganyan. Pero ganun lang si Coach talaga. Pero super organized and super okay niya talaga.
I'm sure sanay ka rin naman.
Yeah, sanay na ako,
Alam
Coach.
naman natin kung saan ka rin.
Siguro, for the viewers who are seeing Coach Lodi pa, naninibago yung iba, di ba? For you, Louie, as the captain, having gone through different coaches, pero ngayon, you're under Coach Lodi. Alam natin yung sa on-tour experience, di ba, na natalo kayo in that game, but I remember seeing a clip of Coach Lodi saying na, bumalik kayo sa court kasi kailangan kayo ng fans, gusto magpa-picture. Tell us about that experience of having a coach who allows you to do that. And sabi niyo nga, di ba, imbes na mag-meeting muna kayo pag-usapan yung game, may mga bagay na pwede muna kayong asikasuhin because he understands it.
Actually, during that time po, parang nagulat ako na nag-exit kami agad. Kasi usually pag captain ka, magsasign ka muna bago ka umalis eh. So nakita ko na tinatawag talaga kami ni Coach para lapitan yung mga fans. Siyempre, malayong lugar pa sila talaga bumabiyahe. And alam namin yung hirap talaga na pinanggagalingan nila. Kaya sobrang thankful kami kay Coach kasi parang first time na usually pag natatalo ka, parang exit ka na. Pero siya, binigyan niya na talaga ng time kami na makapagpa-picture sa mga fans.
Kate, ikaw, bigyan mo kami ng kwento ni Coach. You've been through different systems, college, obviously in the pros also. What's your impression after now being under him?
Impression. Siguro, mag-share.
Or what makes him different? There you go.
Okay. Share ka na lang nung
Yes.
first na dating ni Coach Lodi sa amin. For like a month or 3 weeks, ganon. Para kaming hindi ulit marunong mag-volleyball. Kasi ang dami niyang binago sa amin. Back to zero kami as in from serve to passing to attack. Talagang lahat binago niya yung form namin, kung paano namin naiintindihan yung volleyball. Talagang wala siyang pakialam kahit magkamali ka. Sinasabi niya nga, kahit di niyo tamaan yung bola, wala siyang pakialam. Basta kailangan gagawin namin kung ano yung tinuturo niya. Basta i-try namin. So I think from there, dun namin nakuha yung wag kang matakot magkamali. As long as nasa sistema ka, as long as ginagawa mo kung ano yung gusto niyang makita. Kahit hindi pa lumabas yung outcome ngayon, as long as you're
Right.
trying to do the right thing, okay sa kanya. So I think super nakatulong nga sa amin yun sa game namin na maglaro ng walang takot.
Playing the long game, I'm sure, Coach, is what
Yeah.
he's thinking.
And we saw those results, boom, in the games.
Well, wala pa. Results,
yeah.
these are just parang tip of the iceberg
Pahapayaw
pa lang.
ano.
Yes,
So pag-uusapan
first
natin yung mga games na yan where you actually applied those learnings. So stay with us more with the Farm Fresh Foxies. Stay tuned, you're watching Starting Line. Welcome back. You're still watching Starting Lineup. Let's continue our conversation with the Farm Fresh Foxies. So going back to Coach Lodi, your players talked about the practices the first time they met you. How about your first game as head coach in the PVL against PLDT? I believe it was a loss, but I'm sure you saw a lot of things that you had comments about, the learnings. What were those thoughts after that game?
Well, we knew that that was the very beginning of a long journey, of a long process. Right now, we are in a initial 5-month period. The first month was getting to know each other, and as they've already mentioned, being thrown in a completely new and different setting and learning certain things from scratch. Also, getting over the feeling a little bit like this is crazy. Like where am I? Why am I here? You know, which is
Was that you or them?
no, them. Yeah, them. So that was the first month. That was May. June and July was the period of really establishing systems, skills, and starting to compete also in July with PVL on tour. And now comes August and September. It's more the moment of executing, of taking the next step on things that we already know, but we're not good enough yet at executing, or we're not consistent enough at. So that first game was still at the very beginning of that period. We had only one tune-up game before that, so we knew, the team perfectly knew that we were not ready to compete at a high level. We were doing things that would help us further down the road, and we're absolutely not done yet. So no one was really worried or stressed. We knew that it would take time, and it was more important to try to do certain things, try to go in a certain direction, although we perfectly knew that demanding outcomes was still, inappropriate. So it was just the very first step. Already 10 days later, in the weekend where we played Chocomucho and Petrogas, that was already a completely different team, and we knew that would happen. And the following weekend also, it's all steps that take time, and the team was aware of that. So I guess it's just normal growth, and the price that you have to pay to do certain things that you will need in order to achieve that level that you want to achieve.
Right. Aloy, was there anything that surprised you about Coach, his personality, the system, this organization, the going back to basics, all of these things? Did anything surprise you knowing that you've already played in a lot of leagues?
I think his personality for sure
Okay.
was a shock to me.
Shock. Okay.
Okay, maybe not a shock, but
No,
a
let's
little
go with shock.
surprised.
Let's go with
I'm a little
shock.
surprised, but if you see him, you can tell he's a little crazy. He's a little crazy.
Which we like. I like it. I like
I
seeing
mean,
it. Yeah.
this is I think what our team needed. Him going back to basics, helping the girls out. Learning more about volleyball and like simplifying it for all the girls. So. I think that's the only thing that really surprised us, shocked me.
Was that a collective surprise? Ganun ba ang pakiramdam ng lahat, Louie? Ganun din ba?
Sure,
Parang, meron bang nagulat? Or parang, was it too much at first for some people who are not used to it, sa tingin nyo?
Yes po, kasi usually talaga sa mga previous coaches namin, like, tahimik lang, kung ano lang yung program, yun lang talaga yung gagawin. Si coach kasi iba talaga. Lahat ng aspect siguro para ma-improve yung skills namin sa volleyball, talagang pinagtutuunan niya ng pansin.
In terms of confidence for Caitlyn siguro, dahil we know may tendency before na, quiet si Caitlyn, di ba? Shy type. Pero ngayon parang we're seeing you getting more comfortable. What has he done for your confidence in terms of being a more vocal player para sa Farm Fresh Foxies? Has it changed? Napansin mo ba yung pagbabago dahil nga sabi ni Alohi may pagka-crazy? So nahahawa rin ba kayo sa pagiging loud and vocal niya?
Yes, I think pag nakita mo how passionate and intense si coach sa training, sa game nakikita nyo, pero sa training, times 2 yun. So,
Times 2 lang? Times 2 lang ba?
Kaya nga sabi namin, di ba, wala pa tong nakikita namin
yeah.
for sure, right?
So, syempre, if ganun ka-intense yung coach mo, talagang yung culture ng team, yung kung paano kayo magtrabaho, talagang nahahawa din kami. So,
Julina, what's the general feeling of the team? Is it translating to parang better chemistry, cohesion, better, energy, positive energy?
I think yung chemistry talaga namin. Nung dumating si Coach Lodi sa team, yun nga, aside sa yung chemistry namin, mas naging energetic kami. Kasi he's energetic,
Right,
di ba?
right.
Parang sinabi niya rin sa interview na he's not a game day freak, he's an everyday freak.
Right.
Yeah, so makikita...
You know these lines go all over here in the Philippines. Now you know. Yes, sorry, Jolina, go ahead.
So, di ba, if player ka, tapos makikita mong ganun yung coach mo, super sarap maglaro. And he celebrates all the points. And yun yung importante sa amin. Nakikita rin namin na na-appreciate niya yung mga points namin. Na kahit drop ball man yan, or kung pa-check man yan, hindi importante kasi sa kanya kung gaano kalakas yung palo mo eh. Importante sa kanya, maging smart player ka.
Diskarte.
Yeah. So, yun. Super thankful kami kay coach. Kasi nga, tinuturuan niya kami and super wide ng knowledge niya sa volleyball.
Aside from attributing that improvement kay Coach Lodi, sa a few playing years like yourself again, after that injury that you had, matagal-tagal ka rin nawala sa court, di ba? But we saw being player of the game in Ilagan, I think, yung may pa-feature ka pa na kumakain ka ng mais, di ba? Where did that come from, that change na feeling mo, ito na yung conference or tournament na I'm gonna go back to my old form and my usual self? At what point in I guess throughout the year?
For me, not getting naman dun sa parang 100% dun sa form na meron ako dati. Pero siguro pa, nadadagdagan din talaga yung knowledge na meron ako ngayon. And step by step talaga, tinatry ko siya everyday. Hindi ko tinitignan na, yung kalaban namin sa semis, eto na agad, ganyan. Everyday muna talaga, importante sa akin. So, mag-focus muna talaga ako sa game na kasunod na yun bago ako mag-jump dun sa... So, I think nakakatulong din sa akin talaga siya mentally na hindi ako nag-jump dun sa...
Right. I'm interested to find out, before we take a break, Coach, how much adjustment or adjusting have you made to them? Because obviously they're making their own adjustments to your personality, to your style of coaching. Have you made any kind of adjustment? Are you meeting them some way, halfway, 70-30? Or you're saying, no, this is how I am, you all adjust to me? What's the situation here? I'm interested to know.
It is not so much about having them adjusting to me or me to them. It's more what do we need to do? What does it take to get to the next level? And what does the team need in that moment or in that period or that particular player in that moment? And as a coach, you need to do whatever it takes to get the team going. Sometimes you need to keep them more calm. They're a bit too tense, so it's pointless to add tension. Sometimes you have to kind of wake them up a little bit. Whatever you need to do. So you need to also get over yourself, still being yourself, because that's the main thing. You need to be consistent. You need to be true to your principles and values. Walk the talk. Demonstrate every day, in a practical sense, the things that you are preaching. You cannot just tell them to do stuff that you are not doing
Or else it won't
yourself.
resonate.
No,
It
there
won't
is no
resonate.
way.
Yeah.
So you have to fight for them. They have to see that you're not only demanding fight, but you are showing at whatever cost. You're not just protecting yourself, your status, your position, and then asking them to do certain things, but you are putting yourself on the line. While understanding that their bodies are on the line, they are exposed physically. That is something that also the fans need to understand. It's a very special thing. The players expose their bodies on the court. They are exposed to failure in a very evident way. It is not easy to perform, because a lot of people think, yeah, why does this idiot not do that? No, well, because maybe it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to do as a coach. So it's not so much about having them following you or you adapting to them. It's what we need. And the other part is that people deserve a chance to get better and to have the improvement that they need to have in order to be better players. So what you need to do as a coach is give them what they need and not have preconceived ideas on she's 30, that this she can't do. She has been playing, so that she can't do.
She's coming from an injury. Blah, blah,
People
blah.
can get better.
Right.
And if LeBron James works to get better, like the best to ever play any sports, they work to get better. And they want to be coached. So you need to give them, so the first day, the thing you asked Aloy, but Aloy got here a few weeks after those guys had been like in hell, so it was already, a later stage. The first day I met Louis, and Louis is not 17, okay? But the first day I met...
She only looks it, yeah.
No, sure. But the first day I met her, I said, okay, here you're going to set, and basically starting changing her setting techniques. And she must have thought, this guy is out of his mind. But now she doesn't even remember having played differently, because you help her. Because once you can ask her. Once she sees that you can give her something that helps her, she's going to buy in.
Right.
Or she probably shouldn't be here.
Right.
And the same applies to everyone else. So this group is exceptional. They bought in. They understood the value of what I was giving them, and then you got to push in that direction. So I just try to give them what they need.
And we're seeing that on the court, regardless of result, win or losses. We're seeing all of that, and I'm sure you're not focused on that yet, because again, there's the long game.
I will never be.
Right.
It's always about what you do and not the results.
Right.
Take care of themselves.
We can see that. We can see that definitely. All right, we'll take a break. We got the knockout games to talk about. We have a few minutes left, so stay with us here on Starting Lineup.
Welcome back. You're still watching Starting Lineup. Let's talk about games, this time with the Farm Fresh Foxies now into the quarterfinals after winning their knockout match. Tanungin natin yung kapitan. Si Louis, sabi ni Coach Lodi, tanungin ka namin to confirm. No? Pero let's talk about the game this time.
Let's talk games.
Coming up in the quarterfinals against Creamline, a team that you haven't beaten in the PVL. As a captain, how do you motivate itong teammates mo this time? Kasi Coach Lodi, has that role already. But for you, iba rin yung nangyayari sa loob ng court, di ba? Yung times na hindi niya kayo nakakausap. So ikaw, paano mo sila ipupush pag sa mga laban na ganito against Creamline?
Siguro po start talaga sa training. Since yung energy nga ni coach nakakahawa talaga. Yun, mas lalo kong pinupush yung sarili ko para mahawaan din yung mga kasama ko. And pag nakakita ko na medyo napapagod na or hindi na namin ginagawa ng maayos yung trabaho namin, talagang pinupush talaga namin yung bawat isa. And hindi lang naman po ako yon as a captain. Andun din po yung mga ates ko like sila Ate Rad, sila Achi Alohi. So talagang nagtutulungan talaga kami sa training pa lang para pagdating sa games, alam na po namin yung mga igagalaw namin.
Aloy, correct me if I'm wrong, before this you haven't gone up against Creamline, you personally. Right?
Not at all.
Right, exactly. So, so I'll reserve this question for you because Kate and Jelena, they've had experience. So, we all know the reputation, we all know what they're about, multi-titled they are, they're your next opponents. Quick thoughts on them without giving us game plan and all of that, of course.
I'm super excited, as I'm sure all the girls are. I know not even last year as a coach, we didn't even play them. So they have a great group on their side of the court, and we do too. So it'll be a battle, and I'm just super stoked to see how it goes.
Kate, after that knockout win against Capital One, straight sets, di ba yung panalo ninyo last weekend, how is the morale of the team coming into this game? Dahil nga, napag-usapan natin, nabanggit na natin, we know what they're all about, what Creamline is, but from that win alone against Capital One, how is the mood of the team? Or do you take it the same way pa rin na, hindi porket nanalo tayo, this is still gonna be a tough matchup on Saturday?
Yeah, I think talagang minold kami ni Coach na kung ano yung napanalunan natin before, hanggang dun, yun iba yun. Tomorrow, lalaro ulit tayo. Wala tayong advantage dahil nanalo tayo last game. So, I think talagang day by day, yun yung mindset namin na, okay, fresh start, panibagong kalaban, panibagong trabaho kami.
Julina, meron bang nararamdaman na may intimidation factor ba? Or alam natin yung reputasyon ng Creamline, although they have been struggling, this is the most we've seen them struggle in a long time. But we know when it gets to all of these phases, quarterfinals, knockout, they know how to respond. What's your thought on that?
We know Creamline naman, they have their system, and we have their system. We have our system
own,
naman. And I think playing against them, kailangan mag-stick din talaga kami sa system na tinuturo talaga ni Coach. And proven na rin naman na Creamline, yung sistema nila, ang dami na lang nakuwang championships. And wala naman din mawawala sa amin eh. Kung lalaro kami ng tama, kung susunod kami sa pinapagawa ni Coach, and kung magta-trust talaga kami sa bawat isa. Ayan lang.
Yeah, they have obviously established what you started off in the show as a culture of excellence. That's what you want. I guess we'll end with you. We only have a few minutes. Coach, what is the general feeling going into this phase of the tournament, regardless of whether Creamline is your opponent or not?
I mean, we're looking forward to the next period anyways. Clearly, this is all knockout phase. And if we win, we're going to have a lot of volleyball to play after that, because who plays semi-final right away will also keep playing.
Which is what you want, yes. To play
No,
more.
yeah, well, we're going to take what counts, because
Okay.
we will either play a lot of games in August or we will have a lot more practice time.
Yes.
Of course, we want to win, but everybody wants to win. So saying that we want to win is not really a meaningful statement. What we need to focus on is what we need to do. And not talking about results, but talking about how we're going to try to get them, knowing that it's not something that only depends on us. So we want to win, obviously, like Creamline, like everyone else. If we are going to win, we're going to keep playing in August and trying to get better. If we lose,
You're still going to try to get better.
we're still going to try to get better. Nothing changes. We're going to have more practice time.
Right.
We're going to study anyway.
Right.
And we will get ready for reinforced conference. So I'm just looking forward to anything. like I think I understood what Caitlin said. Like every day matters in it by itself, has a history and life on its own. There is no day that is more important than another one. It's just today,
Right.
and you need to make that day special. And what I want to say also publicly, they know, but I want to say that what makes my job special here is the people I get to do it with. So it is hard work, but it is always a pleasure because I'm looking forward to working with these people every day. When we have days off, they certainly don't miss me. I get that. But I literally miss them on days off. Okay, so that's why whatever will happen Saturday, we're going to keep working.
Right.
We're not going to be done.
Regardless.
And we will try to improve and focus on the next goals. There's going to be a conference in October,
Sure, yeah.
November. There's going to be a conference January, April. So we're going to keep playing. We're going to keep working and try to get the best out of these great people.
Well, speaking of, it was an absolute pleasure to pick your brain here live in the studio. We appreciate
you.
it. Thank you very much. And of course, to you guys, as we always say, stay healthy. That's very important. All right, and good luck this weekend.
luck,
We're
good
looking forward to that.
All right.
Farm Fresh Foxies, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
That's the show. And thank you for joining us. I'm Dip Dip Bianco.
I'm Boom Gonzalez. This has been Starting Lineup. Yeah.